Welcome to Healing Banashi, a space for sharing and meaningful conversations dedicated to healing in all its forms. I'm your host Innina, and here we explore healing in its broadest sense through encounters and conversations with people from different backgrounds and walks of life. We talk about practices, personal journeys, and lived experiences, always with presence, sincerity, and humanity. Today, I'm very happy to welcome Katsue Shimon, a hypnotherapist and the creator of her own fascinating method, Konso therapy, an approach that brings together hypnotherapy, osteopathy, and energy work. Together, we'll explore healing during the difficult moments in life, those periods that can sometimes shake us to our core, but also the inner journeys, realizations, and revelations that can emerge from these experiences. A conversation rooted in kindness, deep listening, and above all, listening to the heart. I'm happy to share this beautiful encounter with you, so make yourself comfortable and let's get started. Good morning, Katsue-san.
Good morning.
Or good afternoon, wasn't it? Well, it's morning here, but what time is it in Japan right now? Around 5 o'clock?
It's 5 p.m. in Japan.
Right, 5 p.m. Welcome to the Healing Banashi podcast. Well, today I'm very happy that we can spend this time together, that we can be together like this. So, Katsue-san, you have many years of experience in hypnotherapy, or in Japanese you call it saimin or hypnotherapy.
They're the same.
These are the same, right? Or what do you use?
Yeah, well, any of them. You can use both of them, actually.
I see.
But hypnotherapy may have a slightly softer image to it.
I see, then hypnotherapy. Yeah. So, based on your experience in the practice and teaching of hypnotherapy, you created your own method called Konso therapy, and you are currently supporting many people through it, right? Right. And regarding Konso therapy, I would like to take the time to hear more about it later. But before that, would it be alright if we went back a little bit in time and talked about the path that you yourself have walked?
Yes, of course.
Right, so before encountering the world of, learning these kind of practices, healing, what kind of person were you?
Yes. First, let me introduce myself a little.
Yes, please do. Of course, I'm sorry.
I'm really very happy to have been given this opportunity. Today, as we're talking in Japan, we use an era name called Reiwa. And today is Reiwa 8, August 8th, 2026. So there are 3 8s line up.
8, yes, now that you mention
It's considered to be a very abundant and very happy day. So I'm truly happy that on such a day I can talk with you, Innina, like this. And that through the podcast I can convey my feelings to everyone. I feel happy and there's such a warm feeling deep inside my chest. Yeah, so I'm from a place called Nagoya City in Aichi Prefecture, and I've been working as a hypnotherapist for 16 years now.
16 years, right?
Yes, I think it's probably around 5,000 people, but while providing hypnotherapy to those kind of people, there were various things that I came to feel within hypnotherapy, and Konso therapy gradually came into being. I would like to talk about it later.
Yes, exactly.
First, regarding the path that led me there, I would like to talk about myself before I started hypnotherapy 16 years ago. And although I've become able to talk like this now, Actually, I wasn't very good at speaking in front of people.
Ah, I see.
If anything, I was quiet and introverted and very sensitive. And also because my parents were very busy working, if anything, my original temperament was to keep quiet and not put myself forward rather than express myself. I was patient, and also there was some bullying during my childhood. So, so I spent my childhood really living without expressing myself, without expressing myself. And within that, I came to think there's something wrong with me, or I'm someone who cannot do anything. And now that I'm a therapist, what I think is that there are actually so many Japanese people who feel this sense of helplessness, thinking that they're human beings who can't do anything, or who feel as if they shouldn't put themselves out there, you know? I think there may actually be many people who carry feelings similar to mine. And in the midst of all that, I hated myself. I didn't understand myself either, and well, anyway, I feel that I lived in a somehow completely dark life. Yeah.
I see.
Yes.
And then, in the life that had become somewhat dark, and in that kind of life, was there an event that became the trigger for you to move towards healing or care for the heart, let's say, the path of inner growth? Well, perhaps it was all of it, I can imagine, but was there one particular thing?
Yeah, I think there were probably many things. But as I grew up hating myself so much, my own mother, liked spiritual things, but she had also had experiences of being deceived because of them.
Oh, really?
So I had this feeling that all spiritual things were strange or bad, and if anything, I kept repeating that I was struggling with problems in the real world. And in the midst of that, even when I worked, I was a workaholic and worked too much, and even when I got married, things didn't go well. And then I had my first child, and my second child was stillborn. And somehow this very painful thing happened.
I see.
Furthermore, during that very painful period after losing the child, our marital arguments became even bigger. And then, yes, my husband committed an incident and was arrested.
Oh, I see.
You know, because I hated myself, I feel like I had really made getting married and having a family together into something I could rely on. But instead of becoming a family of four, it ended up being just me and my older daughter. And while I was being pursued by that incident and various other things, I couldn't understand at all why I had to go through something this painful, or what meaning there was in all this suffering. And of course, the various practical problems were dealt with through lawyers and various other things. While I cried every day and carried those painful feelings, I always had the feeling that I wanted to die. And in the midst of not knowing what to do, I gradually started reading books.
I see.
And while reading all kind of books, because my mother had been deceived in that way, I really hated spiritual things. But when I read spiritual books, I felt a little bit saved, you know.
Ah, yes.
Then I went to the bookstore. I found a book that said something like, "The answer is within you." And it was, well, I've forgotten the title, but it was a book that seemed to be about the subconscious.
Oh, yes.
There was absolutely no answer outside, but there was an answer within myself. And I thought, what does that mean? And even after reading this book, I still had absolutely no idea, but I gradually understood that apparently the answer was within myself. And well, while raising my child and being tossed around by all sorts of things concerning the trial, I was always reading books. And amongst the books I encountered, there was one about past life therapy, a book that talked about, well, past lives, which is essentially hypnotherapy, right? And at that time, I didn't understand at all that it was hypnotherapy. But as I watched the story of someone transforming, changing by remembering their past lives, I was deeply moved and thought, perhaps the answer to the problems in my life might be here. And so while reading the book, I was crying so much, reading in the middle of the night. And when I suddenly closed the book, I thought, I'm someone who is going to do this.
So it resonated with you. Really, it was something that came from you, within you.
But I didn't understand myself at all. So even this feeling of I'm someone who's going to do this was like, huh? What is this feeling like? Why am I feeling this way? And I didn't understand it at all. And then while continuing on like that, various things happen again. And about 8 years passed, during which I kept thinking, I'm going to do this, I'll do it someday, but I didn't actually do anything. And while I was doing that, more and more problems happened in my life, and things became bigger and bigger,
Yeah.
Well, that was because I was mentally cornered in terms of the actual situation. Well, things were much more difficult in various ways than they are now. But it's not that I couldn't overcome them, it's just that. Because I had always been thinking deep inside, deeper and deeper, that I was a bad person. I had come to feel that there was only either living or dying. But now, looking back, I'm actually very grateful for that experience. So I thought, if I'm going to die, then before I die, I'll try receiving hypnotherapy just once.
I see. So at that point, there were somehow these two options, whether to die or to live. And before dying, you decided to try hypnotherapy, to receive a session. That's incredible. So you went and did hypnotherapy then?
Exactly. And until then, I had always been taking care of other people, only thinking about other people. And I always put myself last, so I couldn't spend money on myself. But because I thought I'll do it before I die, I tried receiving a session once. And I realized that the reason I had hated myself and thought I was bad all this time actually came from a past life.
Is that so?
Well, it was like I had done something bad, I had been a person who was involved in a war, and, well, of course, it wasn't by my own will, but through what I did, many people died. And I had continued carrying that guilt, that feeling that I was bad. And because that past life had died and I had been reincarnated into this present life, I realized, that's why I thought I was bad. And then about a month after receiving the session, I felt incredibly relieved.
Just 1 month. Just 1 month. And that image and what I should call it, that memory or whatever it was, memories, yeah? That feeling came to you, didn't it? That's incredible.
Well, it didn't mean that everything was solved.
Sure, of course.
But no, really, somehow. Wow, in this life I haven't done anything bad. I may have done something in a past life, but I haven't done it in this life. I thought that, and so at the same time as feeling relieved, I thought, if I did something like that in the past life, then I have to repay it. I absolutely have to do good things and save people in this life.
So that's what it was.
Exactly.
Yeah?
And at that time, it connected with that feeling that had come to me, I'm going to do this.
I see.
And that's how I decided that I wanted to become a hypnotherapist, and well, that's how I became one.
That's an incredible thing, really, to have gone through all of that and to have read that book and then had that image, that, feeling that itself is incredible, starting from that book.
Yes.
It really feels as through everything was written there somehow, like being able to get all the way there.
Well, I think I was probably being pushed to my limits to that extent. So hearing a voice from within myself and receiving it was actually the first time in my life. So I think it resonated with me very strongly.
Wow, that's incredible, really. Yeah, so then along that path through everything you have experienced in your life up until now, what meaning do the word healing or to heal have for you, Katsue-san, today?
Yes. Based on my own experience, as I was saying earlier, I was very introverted and I had convinced myself that there was something wrong with me. And my parents, when I think about it, weren't really such bad people. And although there were various problems, I feel that in the end, it was my own mind that was creating the problems.
Ah, yeah.
I was trapped in the beliefs I had inside my mind based on how I felt about those events and how I interpreted them. So I came to feel that in order to make things better, it was really important to remember the memories held in the subconscious within the mind and to change them. Because after all, I think that healing means becoming aware of all kinds of beliefs we have in order to return to our true selves and changing those beliefs or understanding and accepting them ourselves. There are all kinds of different selves within each of us. The self we dislike, the self we like, the self that cannot do things, and yes, the wonderful self, and all kinds of different selves. But I think it is important to recognize and integrate all those selves, and that includes past lives as well. But first of all, it is important to know yourself, And after knowing and integrating yourself, you encounter your true self. And I think that everyone has their own true soul's purpose. And for me personally, I had something painful happen in my past life, but because of that, I was able to, save people, although saying save sounds rather presumptuous. Thanks to that, I feel that I am truly able to live a life that is true to myself. So I think that everyone's soul's mission is different for each person. But even though we should have been born already carrying, that mission, for some reason, various things, for example, teachings from school teachers or things that hurt us emotionally or things our parents told us or because of things that were something wrong, little by little we lose sight of who we are and we lose sight of our mission, right?
Very true.
So I think that returning to our true selves and living as our true self is what healing, in my sense, means. So after all, everyone has that mission, and I think that helping people reach that mission is probably the work of a healer.
Now that's wonderful, really. Yes, that's true. Sometimes we get this image that we have to create a new self. But actually, no. The idea of returning to yourself, to your original self, to your original soul, I think that image is really beautiful.
Somehow, even if you think that you're a bad version of yourself, that part of you is also something very precious and lovable.
Yeah, the idea that you have to change, becomes a kind of a pressure. And you also have to surround that by love.
That's true. Somehow wanting to become better, wanting to grow is a very wonderful thing.
Yeah, true.
It's wonderful, but somehow if you leave yourself behind and move forward while only looking ahead, I feel that somewhere along the way things will inevitably become misaligned.
Very true.
While cherishing all the different parts of myself, then moving forward together with all those different selves. And I think that would be a wonderful way to live.
That's very beautiful. And, do you have a moment when you really experience the power of change that hypnotherapy possesses? Did you have such a moment?
Yes. First of all, the fact that I myself transformed was also a major thing, and from there I chose to become a therapist, and I've been doing this for 16 years now. But when I first read the book, it said that the essence of the human being is love. It said that human beings themselves are love, and I thought, is that really true? Everyone is originally a being of love, and somehow we forgot that love, or because we have been hurt, we hide it, or because we cannot do that, we suffer. But I believe that there is always love beneath it all. And through doing therapy, I see clients encounter their true selves deep within themselves, beneath their wounds, and thought that they can think, so this is what I am like. And I can really see them remembering the love within themselves, the love towards their parents, the love of the people around them, and their own love, and transforming. I'm able to feel that every day through hypnotherapy. So being able to experience that together with them, I truly feel happy and feel joy. And through that, Yuki-chan, who connected me to this place, also came to me as one of my students. And I've had so many truly wonderful encounters. People have come to me as students, people have come to me as clients. I've had these encounters, and wow, I really feel this is so wonderful that I can hardly put it into words. And seeing that person walk their own path in their own way, that makes me happy. Or rather, I'm not sure if it's quite right, but well, as I studied this therapy, I felt myself gradually changing more and more. I also started practicing from there. There was a period when I practiced a little while also working normally as an employee at a company and raising my child. And there I really felt that this therapy was wonderful and completely different from an ordinary company job. And while thinking that I wanted to do therapy, there was a time when I was really struggling with it. I had always wanted to make a living solely through this therapy, but I was also worried about money and wondered, can I really make a living doing this? And then a woman whom I had once given a therapy session to suddenly contacted me and said, I would like to have the therapy. I absolutely want to receive it on this particular day. There was such a day. And that was an important day at my company job. And I thought, what do I want to do between this client therapy session and my company job?
Oh, that's incredible again.
On this side, there was the stability I had until then, my job and money. And on this side, there was what I wanted to do. There was the client healing. And when I thought, what do? I felt it's not this side anymore, it's this side. And then I said, okay, I'll start accepting bookings for therapy. And I had also taken the following day off. I had 4 sessions, and amongst those 4 people, 3 of them, this has never happened before or since. Somehow I received a message from them telling me, move forward.
Wow.
And while thinking this isn't my session, it's the client's session, because I was doing the therapy for the clients were hearing some kind of voice like that and telling me, when 3 people told me, move forward, this message, move forward, I thought, this is it. Yes, because the power of a great being, something greater than myself, is at work. Yes, I thought I have to move forward in that direction. I didn't even know who that great being was, but I thought something is moving me. And well, after that, there was no longer any point in continuing to work as an employee. And so I quit my job and entered this world.
Well, that's incredible. And the fact that the sign came not just from one person, but from 3 people at this point, well, you really can think that it isn't a sign, right?
It was a sign, wasn't it? Somehow I felt like there was no escaping it anymore.
Yes, true. It was right there in front of you. Yeah, that's incredible. So then, up until now, through hypnotherapy, what have you learned about human beings and how, the mind works?
Yes, well, regarding that, as I said earlier about the essence of human being is, love.
Yeah.
Everyone has a world of love within them. And yet, well, they are memories from past lives, but also in this life through relationships with our families and also at school, with friends, and through religion or through all kinds of beliefs within the community we live in. We end up losing sight of who we are.
Yeah, that's true in many ways. Yeah.
We develop all these different selves, and sometimes we mistake for truth the things we came to believe in order to protect ourselves because we had been hurt. You know, we end up creating a self that isn't who we really are. That's the point, isn't it? In order to return from there to our original selves. I think that's what I learned is important.
Yeah, that's an important lesson too. No, it's beautiful, that as well. And so I'd like to talk about Konso therapy. For people who are hearing about Konso therapy for the first time, could you explain what kind of therapy it is and through what kind of process of experiences it came into being?
Yes. Konso therapy is a name that I gave it myself, so it wasn't originally an existing term.
Ah, I see.
It's a newly created name, and as for why it came into being, as a hypnotherapist, I was working with, well, the mind and the soul. I was doing healing work for the mind and the soul. And as we often say, body, mind, spirit, there is the body, and there is the mind and spirit. I was working only with the mind and spirit, but after all, the body was missing.
Ah, so with hypnotherapy, I see what you mean. Yeah.
Exactly. Of course, there may be various things involved, but when it comes to hypnotherapy, after all, you don't physically touch the body.
Yeah, that's true.
Right? It's about entering into the client's deep consciousness through verbal questions and continuously helping them find their own answers. So, of course, there were also times when things were suddenly begin moving from the body or and I did things such as listening to the voice of the body, listening to the voice of an illness, and things like that. But I still didn't physically touch the body. And I was beginning to feel some doubts and limitations about that. After all people whose bodies are completely tense, for example.
Yeah, with this kind of tensions. Yeah, like pressure.
There are people for whom it's quite difficult to enter into therapy, and with hypnotherapy, we often work on remembering traumatic memories. But when remembering them, people can become distressed, or there are people who say afterwards, I'm completely exhausted, or my body feels really painful. And I had been wondering for a long time whether there was something I could do about that. And before that, until then, I had been thinking, for example, wouldn't it be good to do reflexology before hypnotherapy? Or would massage be good? But I couldn't find anything that really felt right. I kept thinking, no, this isn't it. This isn't it. Rather than doing chiropractic treatment where you crack and manipulate the body, I wondered if there might be something gentler.
Ah, that's true.
I was spending time thinking about that. Just at that time, I had another strange experience, or rather, Yuki-chan, whom we talked about here before.
Yes.
Yes, she had also taken me to Italy, and at one point, I went on a solo trip to Assisi, in Assisi, Italy, and my connection with Assisi actually goes back a little further to 2017 when I collapsed once because of a problem with my heart and nearly died.
Ah, I see.
I wonder if I can translate this well. Um, it's a condition called aortic dissection, and after developing that illness, I underwent a major operation in which this blood vessel had split and had to be replaced. After that, it was painful, difficult, and agonizing, and I couldn't move. And until then, I had also been working as a therapist, and I thought, why, even though I had been working so hard as a therapist, do I have to go through something this painful? I found myself thinking again, why am I the one who always has to go through such painful things? And when I was feeling that again, suddenly, whether it was a dream or whether I was awake, I don't know, this incredible, beautiful energy came rushing in. And in an instant, I thought, it's Francesco. Even though I had never met him and I'm not even Christian.
Ah, I see.
It's Francesco. That's what I thought, and I thought, that's good. Something like your heart has opened, and a very gentle message came to me saying, "Thank you for staying alive." And I thought, this is incredible. Wow, Francesco is amazing. And up until that point, I have been in such pain and suffering. But after Francesco came rushing in like that, I suddenly felt so much lighter. And because I had that experience, I thought that someday I wanted to go to Assisi, where Francesco is, to Assisi, where Francesco was born. And I spent a long time thinking, I want to go someday, Then from there, I met Yuki-chan. Yuki-chan had been living in Italy for 25 years, and she had also traveled to many different places in Italy and had been to Assisi many times. So that connection with her...
What an incredible connection.
I thought then I'll go to Assisi. At that time, I went alone on a solo trip, and when I went there, Assisi is, a town that people from all over the world love very much. And of course, Italians also love it very much. And I think it's a beautiful place where many people gather with their prayers. But when I went to a place in the town of Assisi, that wasn't even one of the famous places, but where Francesco, at an old church of the outskirts of the main town, his voice was heard saying, "Rebuild this church." I went there and there was a mass taking place. So while I was praying during the mass, messages came rushing down to me.
Really?
Yeah, and it was these overwhelming messages, really messages of blessing. Thank you for coming, and something like that. You're fine just as you are. Keep doing what you've been doing all this time. And I felt like my heart suddenly opened and expanded, and it was as though it was spreading out in the world. I felt this gentle, warm, comfortable energy spreading outwards.
Beautiful.
It was truly blissful. I thought, wow, this is just incredible. I can get enough of this. And while this feeling that, from now on I would live my life entrusting myself to God, I held on that feeling. Then I returned from Italy to Japan, and after I came back, I encountered something called air heart therapy, and that had gathered techniques from osteopathy that were specifically designed to relax and loosen the body.
Oh, air heart therapy.
And while receiving that, I had this feeling that images were suddenly coming up vividly in my mind.
Wow.
Air heart itself is something that relaxes and loosens the body, but I thought that if I combined it with hypnotherapy, it could become something even better.
You can go deeper that way, I guess.
Something deep and gentle where the body is also released and the insights are deeper. And after having those deep insights, you can connect with your higher self and also receive messages from your higher self within the therapy. And also using the messages received from the higher self, you begin to sense the future. So I thought that it could be a therapy that is also healing, while at the same time connecting you with your own higher self and looking towards the future, and that you could have an experience within this one therapy that feels as though you yourself are being reborn. That was what I came to feel.
Incredible. Combining the body and those three things. The body and, well, yes, bringing them together. Hypnotherapy and the body. Then those experiences. Francesco's love, which you call, in Japanese it's I. I means love in Japanese, yes. The energy of the heart expanding, and especially having gone through a heart condition, a disease of the heart, and then having this experience. It's an incredible image, isn't it?
Yes, this has really been something that unfolded over a long period of time. I collapsed in 2017, and then I found this. Well, I think it was in 2023, 4 years later. It's not as though something suddenly changed dramatically, but it had been connected all along.
Yeah.
And Francesco, whether it was what happened or whatever it was, I was somehow picking up and receiving that kind of energy, and I received it too. So I thought, this isn't just mine anymore, so I want to share it with everyone.
Wonderful. Not just your own treasure, but everyone's treasure. That's a wonderful thing about you, Katsue-san.
I truly feel that this energy exists for love and peace, and it seems that this energy wants to increase the number of people who live with love and peace.
Yeah.
So I'm moving forward with the feeling of what can I do to help with that? Like, this is what I'm supposed to do. And I feel as though I'm being moved to do it.
That's right. Each person properly one by one. That's incredible. And of course, you had various experiences through hypnotherapy as well. But as Konso therapy was taking shape, were there any particular experiences or learnings or encounters with people that had a strong influence on it?
Well,
well, Yuki-chan is one of those people, right?
somehow I have the feeling that Konso therapy brings all kinds of wonderful people into my life. I find myself thinking, it's connecting me with this person, or I'm having such a wonderful encounter like this. That's what I'm feeling now. And, I also feel that Konso therapy helps the therapist, because with hypnotherapy, it inevitably takes a long time.
That's true.
Exactly. I feel that there is a limit when you rely on verbal guidance, but with Konso therapy, you don't need verbal guidance. You simply allow yourself to feel. And then, within the images that arise, the body naturally begins to sway, and the therapist follows and adjusts to that movement. And when we loosen the arms as well, it's not about rubbing or manipulating them forcefully, but rather moving them in the direction the client wants to move. Like, you want to move this way.
I see. So the therapist isn't creating the movement, but moving together with the person receiving the therapy. I see.
Exactly. So when the client is feeling a painful memory, they might start shaking and trembling, but when an awareness begins to arise within them, they might suddenly begin to loosen and relax. In any case, it's about being together with the client. If you're the therapist, you're there with them, you're together with them, and you feel together with them. Just being there beside them, saying, I see, that's how it is, and accompanying them in that way allows the client to feel deeply safe and open their heart, and they gently let out all kind of things from deep inside, things like, I've never been able to tell anyone this before, but the therapist is simply there with them together.
Right.
But because we're touching, it feels good for us too. It's relaxing.
I see.
Yes, it seems that oxytocin is involved in that as well. Oxytocin, the happiness hormone. And when you touch someone, the person being touched also feels very safe.
That's true.
And the therapist also feels very safe by touching the client. And because we can feel the difficult things together, it's easier for us too. And clients who come for hypnotherapy often have a very deeply wounded inner child. Or, they've stored things up in their body. There are also people who don't remember what happened, but whose body alone has very strong reactions.
Ah, yes, yes.
Even for those people, when we explore those memories together, they relax and feel better, and the reactions can disappear. There are really people like that. There was someone recently who had been doing a job that she truly hated, but she had endured that job for a long time and felt that she had no choice but to adapt. There are quite a lot of people like that in Japan, because they're very patient and enduring.
Ah, yes, that's true. Japanese people, they end up putting up with things.
Exactly, they endure, and they're serious and work incredibly hard. But precisely because of that, there are people who feel that no one understands them or recognizes them, yet they carry those feelings alone, suffer, and continue doing the same job. Recently, I did therapy with someone like that, and a painful inner child emerged. And by healing that child, she began to feel incredibly happy. And when she came, she was someone who could hardly leave the house at all. She had finally managed to come, and then on the way home, because her body had relaxed, she felt incredibly comfortable, and she went to a zoo near her home on the way back. Yes, she went to the zoo, and then, well, a month later, she told me, I've decided to quit my job. She said that what she really wanted to do all along was cooking, because she loves cooking, and her late husband and her family as well had always told her, cooking really suits you. So she said, then I'm going to go in that direction, and she began walking down a new path.
That's incredible.
After all, because the body relaxes, people's change happen quickly.
That's true. So, yes, the body. So, it means that the past and emotional wounds can sometimes remain within the body.
Exactly. And even the client herself wasn't aware of it. But it keeps coming out.
Ah, while moving.
But it's not about changing anything. It's simply that the therapist feels it together with them. And it is gently released. Yeah. And because that makes them feel better and allows them to relax, movement emerges. So honestly, when I do this, I feel that there is nothing but happiness.
That's true. That's incredible. And of course, during a consult therapy session, when someone is going through a process of deep change and healing, are there signs that indicate that? So, for example, suddenly moving, is that what you mean? Or.
Yes. Yes, until now, people have been thinking with their heads, constantly thinking, could it be this? Could it be that? Maybe I should do this. Maybe there's something wrong with me. But when we stay together and they gently begin to relax, they start to feel their body more rather than being in their heads. And then they might realize, I haven't been taking care of my body, or, you know,
Oh, so that they weren't connected to it.
exactly, yeah. Yeah, and they might begin to feel affection for their body, or I haven't been held like this, or
That, yeah.
yes, I think that is really common among Japanese people.
That's true.
In many ways, people haven't been touched and they may feel embarrassed about it or have a little feeling of resistance. And the reason for that is something that has continued from generation of their parents. Their mother may say, my mother didn't do that for me either. My mother didn't receive it either. She didn't do it for me, so I wasn't able to do it for my own children.
I see what you mean.
Right, but precisely because of that, that may realize, then I'm going to start hugging them myself. They begin to feel that they want to touch and cherish their children more, and they become more able to connect with the voice inside themselves. Then the transformation happens more quickly. Somehow I feel that this might be one of the signs of the process, connecting with the true voice of your own inner voice, having realizations through that true voice, and then together with those realizations, finding answers in your own way. I think perhaps that's the kind of process they go through.
Yeah, that's incredible. It's a beautiful process, so it's quite a gentle process then, really simply being together.
Of course, since I'm a hypnotherapist, there are also elements of hypnotherapy, but the fundamental philosophy of Konso therapy is everything is okay.
Exactly.
Everything is okay. All of your emotions are okay. Everything is okay, and you don't try to change it. You don't change it. That itself is what is important. If you call it therapy, it becomes a little difficult to explain, but that's not what I mean.
Oh, no.
For example, when a mother is touching her baby, everything is okay, isn't it?
That's right.
Simply because the baby is lovable, cute.
There's no right or wrong, is there? There isn't. Nothing at all.
It's simply because the baby is adorable, simply because you cherish the baby, and there is this feeling that everything is okay.
That's it.
That's the most important part of Konso therapy, and I feel that this is what we are doing.
Ah, that's wonderful, really.
Yeah, I feel that Konso therapy is teaching me that.
I see. I understand. And through your interactions with people who come to you, Katsue-san, have there been things that you particularly often feel or become aware of? Or, you know,
Yes, I feel that many of the people who came to me are at a turning point. Until then, they have been pulled along by their past and have been living not as their true selves. And they come to me at a time they want to change. Sometimes they find me themselves, or other times I feel that many people come because they have somehow been told by a greater existence to find me.
I see.
So, depending on the case, there are people who really don't get better no matter where they go. They have counseling, and in Japan, when people are suffering, they tend to go to the hospital immediately. The medical system in Japan is relatively inexpensive, so they quickly go to the hospital and get medication. So, even when they are suffering mentally, they immediately go to the hospital and get medication. And really, there are people from whom the medication doesn't suit them, and there are people who become even worse because of the medication too. And then there are people who continue to suffer mentally for years and years, but I really feel that they come when they are at a turning point, ready to change.
Ah, that's amazing. Somehow it also makes me remember your own experience, doesn't it? Listening to everything that happened to you. I mean, when yourself were at the point of am I going to live or die, then am I going to choose therapy or my job? You have your own experience of that, so I feel that perhaps you are able to understand them even more deeply, Katsue-san. That's amazing. And then now, you know, earlier we talked about your past, but in your life now, what gives you feelings of joy and gratitude? You mentioned a little bit about it already, but I would like to ask once again.
For me, what is important is, after all, seeing the smiles of the people around me. I feel that their smiles bring me so much joy. I truly feel that from the bottom of my heart. So seeing everyone smiling and being happy makes me happy. And within that, my relationships with my family are very important to me. My older daughter is already 28 years old, and it makes me very happy to see that she's healthy and enjoying her life. And my father has already passed away and is no longer here, but even though he has passed away, I always feel his presence. I feel that my father continues to support me, that he loves me, and that he is happy about what I'm doing. And my mother is truly someone who is like a role model for me. My mother is also a very hardworking person, but no matter how difficult things are, she is always very positive. She is positive, and precisely because of that, there was also a time when I couldn't really understand my mother's feeling. My mother would always say, "Just keep doing your best; it's going to be okay." And when I was little, being told to do my best when I felt that I couldn't do my best was very painful. But now that I look back, my mother is a very positive person, and she has the strength to find something good wherever she is. So I feel that my mother is truly a role model for me. And now my mother's siblings are all elderly, and some of them have passed away, but being the person who brings all of those people together, who connects everyone, is a source of joy for me. So I feel that for me, joy and happiness are my family. And then, in addition to my family, my friends and companions. And by doing what I do like this, I met Yuki-chan, and I have also gained truly wonderful students and companions. And among those companions, there's this sincere desire to help one another grow and to do what each of us can do to create a world of love and peace. It's not about trying to change someone or trying to put myself above others. It's really about everyone connecting gently with another, and each person saying, "I will do what I can do to create a better world." I feel that I'm surrounded by people who are so gentle and warm and also truly wonderful and capable. And now, Innina, you're also part of that too. When I look at myself from the perspective of who I used to be, I feel that I'm living in a completely different world now. That is something that gives me so much joy. It makes me happy.
That's beautiful. Yes. So that is what you would like to communicate to people through Konso therapy from now on?
Yes, well, right now there are maybe people who are somehow feeling trapped or tightly bound within their own feelings, and perhaps they have become ill, whether it is something affecting their mind or their body. But even that, every single thing is a message that your soul is trying to communicate to you from the deepest part of yourself. So, how should I put it? Rather than interpreting it as something bad, although perhaps it may be difficult to receive that message when that happens, I feel that through Konso therapy, by experiencing your mind, body, and soul relaxing and becoming integrated, your life can become truly meaningful.
Right. Yeah. So, yeah, Katsue-san, after having gone through so many different paths and so many different experiences, and after, discovering hypnotherapy and energy work, and yeah, back when you still didn't know the path you would walk from that point forward, what words would you like to say to the person you were back then from the perspective of who you are now?
Yes, the person I was back when I didn't know any of this was truly always looking down, constantly worrying and thinking, "I don't understand, I don't understand." And I was living within the feeling that there was no one who understood me, that there was no one who would help me. But even that had a meaning, because I had all these different experiences. I am who I am today. And a time will come when I will be able to feel grateful for all of it. It's painful, but you are not alone, so it's okay. how should I put it? I want to say to myself, you really did your best.
Yes, that's right. It's moving, isn't it? Oh. You really worked so hard. Yeah, you really, really did your best.
Yes, but after all, without even knowing it, there are actually so many people who are really doing their best through those kind of experiences, and there is a possibility that it can lead to helping those people. So yes, that too was a choice that my soul made, so there's nothing wrong with anything. It's okay. And I've met such wonderful people like you, Inina, someone so wonderful that she would cry like this.
No, really, the fact that you, Katsue-san, are sharing such deep, heartfelt stories with us is something I'm really grateful for. Yeah, truly. Yeah. So, yes, then finally, if people listening to this episode, to this podcast episode, would like to contact you, Katsue-san, or would like to know more about Konso therapy, how should they do that? Is there a website or, yeah?
Yes, I have a website, and well, I also have an Instagram, although I'm only keeping it going little by little. And basically, my activities are currently in Japan, but Inina, you speak many different languages, and yes, I think the podcast will connect with, for example, people in English-speaking countries and people in Italy. And yeah, thanks to Yuki-chan, I also had the opportunity last year to teach in Italy. And after all, I would like, really like to be of help to many people overseas as well. Originally, this is a method that came to me there in Italy too.
Exactly, that connection, I think it would be wonderful to expand it once again, in Italy. Yeah.
When I went last year as well, actually, of course, they couldn't understand the language, and Yuki-chan also interpreted. But at one point, as things flowed naturally, the Italian people were without an interpreter. Using their smartphones, of course, there was a translation available.
Ah, yes, right. You can do that, can't you?
But I think they understood everything, yet within this healing energy, within the energy that everyone was resonating with there. Everyone was crying while watching, learning, and receiving the therapy. It was such a deeply moving session that I thought, we don't need words anymore.
We don't. It goes beyond words, doesn't it?
Yeah, and the person who received it had also received a lot of therapy up until then, but said that they had never experienced anything this deep. Konso therapy is very deep, gentle, and warm, and it's a gentle therapy that continues to remain in your heart for a long time. So, yes, I would really like people to take a look at the website and come to Japan and receive it, especially since it's become easier to come to Japan now. And yes, I would definitely also like to go overseas. So, if you invite me, I would love to go anytime. That's what I'm thinking.
It would be wonderful if you could come to Switzerland too, right?
I'll come.
I'll translate into French.
Oh, wonderful, I'll go.
Definitely, really. Yes, so I'll make sure to put the website in the notes for this episode. Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you. Actually, right now, here in Nagoya, where I am, there's a somewhat holistic gathering taking place.
Holistic, okay.
Yeah, after all, in Japan and even in Nagoya, the idea of holistic hasn't really spread very much.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's right. And precisely because of that, something is being started with the idea that we should begin from our side. So, within that, we want to bring together the really good things from schools, good education, medical care, doctors, and people like us, therapists, and create a place where people can become better, where things improve, starting from this local community, starting from this place, and then gradually spreading outwards. I would really like to create that kind of flow. And for that, yes, I want to see all kinds of holistic approaches from all over the world. And I think Switzerland is quite a bit more advanced in terms of holistic approaches than Italy.
Yes, that's right. Truly, yes. It feels like everyone has already known about it for a long time, compared with Italy at least. Yeah.
That's why I'd like to see what's like there. So please invite me to Switzerland.
Please come, Katsue-san. I'd really love that. Well, then, truly, thank you so much for sharing such a wonderful story today. One that really touches the heart.
No, thank you as well. I feel like I didn't speak very well.
No, that's not true. You really conveyed everything, truly.
Yes, Konso therapy is still a very new therapy and it's a very warm and gentle therapy. So I really hope that people all over the world will receive this therapy, learn it, and share it because I feel that wherever it is brought, that place will become happier and everyone will become happier. So, yes, receiving it is truly wonderful and learning it is wonderful too. But first of all, please talk to me about it, contact me, ask me about it. Yes, nowadays with translation, we can talk about anything.
Yes, that's right, yes. And truly, I'm grateful from the bottom of my heart, Katsue-san. And next time, I'm really looking forward to meeting you in person, whether in Japan, Italy, or Switzerland.
Let's meet, let's meet. I'm looking forward to it.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Innina. Thank you.
Thank you so much for listening. And a heartfelt thank you to Katsue for her presence, her words, and for sharing her journey with us. Thank you to all of you for being here with us until the very end. You can find me on social media, and all the links are available in the show notes. Feel free to share your thoughts, your feelings, or simply continue this experience in the comments. May this listening or watching accompany you with gentleness and kindness. See you very soon for the next episode, and in the meantime, take care.